Welcome to the Beyond the Vines podcast, where I interview local business owners in Sonoma County to highlight small business and grow our community. I'm your host, Amy Ehlers, a mom, realtor, and Sonoma County native, and I'm excited to connect you to some amazing people in this beautiful area that we call home. Welcome back to the Beyond the Vines podcast. Thank you again for tuning in. This is a really special episode. Someone that I grew up with today. I am here with Tiana Sawyer. She's a winemaker and holistic teacher that has been navigating the world of wine and holistic living since her early 20s. A UC Davis psychology pre-med student on track to becoming a doctor, and was ultimately led down an alternative journey of learning about the natural world when she received her Master's of Science in Viticulture and Enology. Am I pronouncing enology right?
That's right.
Awesome. She has been learning the art and craft of winemaking since 2013 while pursuing a path of spiritual healing, thus bringing her to bridge the gap between wine and holistic living with her brand Wild Rising Wines. She's passionate about educating on the topic of big wine and teaching how to engage with wine mindfully through embodiment and somatic meditation techniques. Her greatest joy is tending to her family of two beautiful children, Kaya Quinn and Ari Hendricks, and her husband, Travis. She strives to be the change she wishes to see in the world, conscious, compassionate, intentional living that unifies the beauty and balance of life. And I am so excited to welcome her today. Thank you so much for coming, Tiana.
Thank you, Amy.
We go, I don't know how many years back.
Oh, gosh. Over 20.
Over 20, for
Over
sure.
20.
Maybe even hold on, how
25.
old are we? Maybe even 25.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we go way back, but we had that gap where it's like we went different directions in life, and now it's so fun to be
after high
back
school
in Petaluma, and both of us as moms, and seeing different career paths. It's just so great. So I'm so excited to see you and connect with you.
Yes.
So well, welcome. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind Wild Rising Wines and how that all began.
Okay, so I have been working in the wine industry since I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So even before I started learning how to make wine, I was already working in the industry. I was going to the JC. My mom has been working in the wine industry.
Mom,
Mom is also part of Wild Rising. Not here today. We welcomed a new family member today.
Congratulations.
So she's with the other side of our family.
Oh, so awesome.
Yeah, but so right after high school, Mom was working in wine industry, and she was like, "You need a job." So I started working in a hospitality concierge wine club at 19 while I put myself through the JC. And at the time, I was very much on track to becoming a doctor.
Right.
Yes.
That's such a shift.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting to look back at the parallels. I was already building that foundation of wine industry experience, and then lo and behold, I go to apply to med school, and I'm like, and the school I wanted to go to, they were like, "You're in,"
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
but
amazing.
I was just thinking long term, and I was just like, you know what? It's not the path for me.
You can feel that.
Yeah.
And you just either choose to listen to it or not. And it sounds like you chose to listen to it.
It was a really hard decision. Obviously, I have a passion for healing and holistic living, and this has really been my way of bridging those worlds. I went into the wine industry. I did start seeing a lot of red flags and inconsistencies, double standards, mislabeling, misleading, lack of transparency, and being a very conscientious person with, how I choose to lead my life and what I put in my body. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, that can't sit well with you.
Yeah.
That is definitely a concern I've had where I've been like, oh, I love this wine. And I'm like, it's so strange to me how there's no ingredient label. And what am I drinking? And where is this actually made? And is it organic or not organic?
Right.
And yeah.
And, there's a lot of lobbying in the wine industry to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep. I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure. Because I'm similar to you in that I'm very conscious of what I eat, my family eats, what we put in our body. Yeah. And so when it comes to wine, I just pour a glass and I'm like, oh, wait, a second?
Yeah.
what's in here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
and that's really what we want our consumers and clients to feel confident in when they're drinking our wines. It's like knowing that who is making their wine is just as concerned about the same things as them. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Know
That's
your
really
wine,
special.
know your winemaker.
That's really special.
Yeah.
So you touched a little bit on this, but can you describe your winemaking philosophy and how it influences your production?
Definitely. So There are several ways and approaches that you'll see in the wine industry. There's very tactile.
Either, probably.
Yeah. Very hands-on. Yeah. More of the, I would say, I don't want to use manipulation necessarily in like a bad way, but it's just much more... Lots of technique is applied, and we like to take the approach of like hands off, very low intervention, and more of allow nature to do her thing.
Which is probably how it originally was made, I would assume.
Yes, hence wild rising. Wild. We're bringing the wild back to the glass.
Oh, I should have asked you. Like your I got it. Okay, cool.
That's really where it's all coming from.
Yeah,
and inviting people to consciously engage with wine. To return to themselves, their wild self, how nature intended them to be their own unique individual. And same with our wines, their own unique individual expression and wild fermentation, native fermentation, which is our approach to winemaking, is very hands-off. It allows the natural yeast from the vineyard to ferment the grapes instead of using a commercial inoculum, which is the majority of the industry for valid reasons, especially when you're making and producing wines at like mass quantities. You can't risk anything going wrong. So, and that's the thing with native fermentation is it's very delicate and you have to be watching it. But that's our philosophy.
I love that.
It really matters to us. And you see a difference in the wines. There's a lot more complexity and evolution that's taking place.
Wow.
And it takes it to the next level.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Would you say because of that, you need to be a little more smaller production to maintain it, or have you been able to still?
I mean, if you're taking care to pay close attention, you can get it through just fine. If you know what you're doing and you know what to expect with wild fermentations, because they can be wild sometimes.
That makes sense.
I mean, like during harvest, I am at the winery every single day.
That's
every single day for 2.5 to 3 months. So it's a lot, but it's like you learn so much too because there's something new and exciting with every lot, every single day.
Yeah. Well, and obviously things like weather, fire season, I'm sure plays a big role.
2017
smoke,
was
all of
crazy.
that. Yeah.
So I mean, every year it's always ever since 2017, it's been kind of like a little bit, when we get to this time of year, especially when we have these heat waves. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it's going to change, I assume, a lot about what you're doing.
Oh, yes. When to pick and what might need to be done to the wines. But fortunately, our wines have not been exposed to anything. Yeah, we've been really lucky with our
Where are most of your grapes?
Here in Sonoma County.
Great.
Yeah, all locally sourced from organic and biodynamically farmed vineyards, family owned. And really what we're looking for is working with growers who really take care of their earth and tend to the vines, and they really care about their work. So
I love that. Somebody that fits your mission as well.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Thank you.
What current wines are in your collection, and what are your favorites?
Oh, okay. I always say when people ask this question, it's like, who's your favorite child?
No, who's your
they're
favorite
all
child?
my babies.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm such an empath, so I'm like, I love everyone.
Totally. We can't hurt their feelings.
I know. They're all special in their own way. I am classically trained in Pinot Noir, cool climate Pinot Noir, and Pinot Noir will always have my heart. In grad school, they used to call me the Pinot Queen.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
It's
a good title to have.
I know. It's a fun one. It's a fun nickname to have. And so, I mean, Pinot is probably always going to be my go-to, but I have a love affair with really high-acid white wines. I love the crisp, fresh, floral, fragrant, aromatic whites. They're just so good and exciting.
Speaking my language right now.
Yes.
You're also making me thirsty.
I know. We should have popped a bottle.
ocean. What were we thinking? No, that would be my ideal.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely like a crisp
Yep.
white. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you would love our South.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. It is hard to pick your favorite child though. So
Yeah. Was there another part to that question?
no. Well, what wines do you currently have in your collection?
Okay, so our current collection is called the Elements, and we have 4 wines. Each wine represents one of the 4 elements. So
Great.
air, water, earth, and fire. Rosé is our air. Sauvignon Blanc is our water. Pinot is our earth, and Cab is our fire.
You have like literally all my favorites. So that's
Yeah, it's the go-tos.
the go-to.
It's the go-tos. While we're growing, we originally started out with a Pinot Noir and a Chardonnay, and our Chardonnay was more of a stainless steel style, really fresh, really crisp, clean, can kind of satisfy all parties that way.
Yep.
But we wanted to expand, and the way that we did that was introducing a couple more varietals, and we're really, really happy with them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. What is the most rewarding part of the winemaking process for you?
Oh, I love it so much.
I can see that, honestly,
Yeah.
sitting across from you. Like, that is what I'm taking
Yeah,
away from this.
it's so funny just considering who I am as a person and really what intellectually stimulates me. It's the whole process. My mom likes to say from grapes to glass.
I love.
It really starts in the vineyard. And the way I like to look at it is you are capturing a 360-degree experience of the senses of a particular moment in time.
Wow.
Really, really, it's like a year. You're capturing a year in a glass. It's like when you go to pull out a bottle of wine and you look at the vintage and you look at where it's from, and you're thinking and placing that bottle of wine with the group that you're in. Maybe you're just like having a sacred moment alone too, but it's just like it's a moment of reflection, and it's a completely, if you're in that type of a relationship with wine, it is a very beautiful, embodied experience. And I love teaching that and sharing that with people. And the whole process from start to finish is really, honestly, so magical and fun and exciting. It's scientific. It's alchemy. It's, community. Yeah. And really some of the most gifted minds I've had the privilege of meeting, I meet like in the caves, in the vineyard, in the cellar, over a glass of wine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's just, and you speak so eloquently about it too, by the way. Like, that was amazing. So, and it is such a reminder for those of us that don't work in the industry, like to think when you are pouring that glass of all that goes into it.
This is our home,
yes,
and it's like, I love the name of your podcast because it really shines a light on like the community behind the vines, but also what I love about where we live is it's like, it's a thread between our whole state, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even across the world, it's like there's this ancestry, this lineage that runs through us, and what happens when we come together over a glass of wine.
Oh, that's the best. That is the best. Capturing that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So your labels, how did you make your labels? Because they're stunning.
Okay, so as I mentioned, each wine represents one of the 4 elements, and what I think everyone could, if they took a moment to think about, is that the wine industry in general is very masculine.
Absolutely.
Yes. And, it's majority of male winemakers, and that is shifting drastically very quickly. Even since I started making wine, there's so many more women winemakers now, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
But what I love about our wines, what's actually, too, we aim to have slightly lower alcohol percentages because it's really surprising, like what even 1 or 2% difference in alcohol will do for your experience. But so it's really this approach of bringing through the feminine essence of the wine and of the grape of the vine, and we wanted to capture all of these elements that take place in the vineyard and like what weaves life together. And I don't think there's any better way of doing that than showcasing the elements like in the most inspiring ways that they appear to me. So we have air and the clouds, we have the water, the ocean, we have earth with the redwoods, and our fire is actually an up-close picture of a glowing ember.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
They're just beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
So a lot of the comments that we've gotten on our wines is just how ethereal and whimsical and elegant and soft they are. And that's exactly what we're going for.
Wow. You've really like thought your, I don't want to say branding because that seems cheesier, but your whole mission behind all of this, so well.
Well, really, when we began, we saw it as like a lifestyle. So wine, wisdom, and wellness for the modern woman.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. That's amazing. So kind of touching back to something you just mentioned, what has been your experience as a female winemaker? And
you know, I will say in my younger years before I had children, I would go as far to say as it was challenging, but also empowering. But it became even more challenging when I became a mother.
Interesting.
Yes, because harvest is so time-intensive, labor-intensive. It's very physically demanding. It's exhausting.
Yeah,
you know, it's
absolutely.
like all your wines in the cellar are all your babies as well. And so it's very demanding and it's a lot as a mother because being at home, you know, you are the emotional caretaker of the family. And so it's really being pulled in multiple directions. And, you know, I love it. And also, like I said, it is very empowering. You know, it's the creation process, which women are very good at. And the more women that step into the winemaking and production role, there really has been this shift in work-life balance, which is really beautiful and really needed in the industry.
Yep. I feel like we're seeing that more in many industries, like figuring out boundaries and how to, you know, because it's not possible to do it all, unfortunately, as hard as I try.
There's only so much time.
There's only so much time.
Yeah.
So I think that we're seeing that more, I don't want to say it's a trend, it's like a necessary life shift. Yeah. But yeah, for sure. I think that's something, and to see you touch on it, although I am trying to picture like being 9 months pregnant and harvest, I can't even imagine how that would go down.
You're waddling, not climbing the ladders as much, maybe just the 2 steps.
Yeah, please don't climb ladders 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really well said, and I love that more. Why do you think more women are getting into the industry?
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And why are more women turning to winemaking? I honestly would say it's a calling. You know, it's a calling and one that's needed too. I think that this is a part of my business that I'm stepping into more so in terms of leadership and awareness, in terms of bringing a voice to the vineyard. Yes. And in some ways, the female voice is required to impart the wisdom and the skill set necessary to bring through what's needed to bring through.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Did you have any female mentors or role models? I can think of one for you, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. My mom.
Yep, that's where my head was.
Yeah, 100% my mom. I wish she was here. You know, would love her so much.
She's getting some baby snuggles in.
Yeah, you know, she has been so driven my entire life. And everywhere she has worked, and I've watched her, and I've kind of, you know, ridden along her coattails a little bit from company to company. And she has helped to build up in profound ways these companies. She's played integral roles, and she's so intelligent, and she's so passionate, and she has a lot of grit, and she's really good at being a leader and being an example for her employees, for her teams, to help keep them, you know, their eye on what, and their heart really focused on why they do what they do, because you know, it's like it can be a lot, and she just does such a beautiful job of showing up and you know, and being a woman in the wine industry, being an executive, you know, she has a really incredible legacy in the industry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So lucky to have her as your mom. And then also, do you ever think like your kids are watching you right now?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting that same experience that you had.
Totally.
Seeing
I
you in
love
that
taking
role.
them into the vineyard.
That's so great.
It's like a little, you have to be careful in the winery because it is kind of like a construction site.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got forklifts
and they're still pretty little.
heavy machinery equipment happening. And, but, they think it's so cool. They're fascinated by it.
Yep. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're providing that same role model for them. I love it. How do you engage with your local community and with your customers and your wine drinkers?
Yeah. So we have participated in several events over the last few years. I guess it would be appropriate to share now that when we first started, our launch was set for March 15th, 2020. So we totally...
Great timing.
Yeah, and wine, it's like you're in production a couple of years before you even release. So, in 2018, I wasn't anticipating the world
You
shutting
didn't think
down.
there was going to be a pandemic?
I mean, didn't you?
Totally. I wish we had known.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, we have been doing a lot of pivoting and finding our niche and our place where we can, and we have poured at a lot of different events. But our most favorite thing to do is facilitate private tastings with women. We love doing women's circles. It's our most favorite thing.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
That's
so
amazing.
my mom actually is an incredible oracle tarot reader. So
Your mom?
Yes.
Didn't know this.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, she is magic. Yeah.
I feel like I need to join one of these.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll come together, group of women, birthday, bachelorette, bridal shower, whatever sort of, even just because. Get together, we'll taste, I'll present the wines, I'll even lead us through a ritual or circle, intention setting ceremony of some kind. And my mom will have one-on-one readings with everyone. So it's a really sacred ceremonial girl time together.
Where do you do those?
At home.
Wow.
We do them. We've hosted events out in nature, retreat centers.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just thought of somebody I want to connect you with on that. No.
That's really our wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like that's part of your mission too, that personal touch and connection more than anything. It sounds like.
Yes, that's why when everything that happened in the last 4 years, our whole business model was based off of women's circles, women tasting gatherings. We're like, okay.
Not quite the same effect on Zoom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. So now we're still doing that, and we want to be doing more of that.
Great.
And we're also stepping more into awareness of right relationship with wine, deepening our relationship with wine, because it is really this sacred elixir, this gift that offers really deep, profound wisdom. And I feel like there's women would love to know about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have spent so much time tasting over the last
can't imagine
10 plus years by myself. And, and it's really very small quantities at a time.
Yep.
And some of the thoughts and experiences that trickle in, I'm just that is really profound.
That's amazing. Well, when you allow that quiet space for yourself, it's
absolutely. A meditative experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's amazing. How do you hope other people feel as they experience your wines?
The same. I mean, it's really about providing a 360 sensory experience and seeing the memories that can be made, being in the moment, and also with the approach to our wines, seeing that, lighter, delicate, more consciously engaging, it opens up a more expansive experience. I feel like there's different ways to engage with wine in terms of where we're at mentally, and choosing to take a breath before we have a glass of wine really can alter the unfolding of that experience of the glass of wine. We're more present, we're more engaged, and it just leads to a deeper experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at tonight's glass completely different after this conversation, to be honest with you.
Anytime you want to sit down and have a glass of wine together.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll take you up on that.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Do you have any upcoming releases or new projects that you're excited about?
Yes.
Ooh.
So we definitely want to do a sparkling.
Oh my gosh,
that will
now
be,
you're really
that will
speaking my
complete the
language.
collection. Yeah, that will be our ether element.
That's a whole different ballgame, though. Oh,
it is.
ether
I've
element.
never made sparkling before, but I am blessed to have an incredible
Awesome.
team
Awesome.
who will guide me. You know, it's like I know exactly what I'm looking for, and they're just going to help guide me on that path.
Wow.
Yeah. But it will be done because I love sparkling.
Anyone to help you sample it? Like,
Anytime.
I can give you my card.
Anytime. You come to the winery, we'll taste.
That's definitely my go-to is a nice glass of bubbles.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And we also are planning to roll out a book at the end of next year.
Really?
Yes.
Can you come back on the podcast when you have the book? We could do something here for that.
I would love to.
Or do like a wine circle here or something, like a women's circle with your book club.
Yes.
Actually, I will bring it to my book club. I am in a book club, though. We can read your book.
I would love that.
That's
I'd be
amazing.
honored.
Wow.
So
what is the book going to touch on?
it's going to be wine, wisdom, and wellness for women. It's going to talk about the history of wine and how, you know, back in ancient civilizations, we had temples and priestesses, and they incorporated wines.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Like the history of it all.
Yes. And then also how to implement and weave wine into holistic living because there's an interesting trend, and I'm sure you've seen it, with people going towards zero alcohol wines, which I have at various points in my life been alcohol free. I feel that sobriety for different seasons, for different reasons, for different people at different times is a crucial part of our paths. And so I honor that for everybody. But I do also believe it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You know, you can, you know, be sober and consciously engage in a glass of wine here and there. I don't necessarily feel that that is like a type of relapse or, you know, it's really about the intention behind why you're choosing to engage.
Like that. Yeah, I like that, the intention behind it.
Yeah, so implementing ways to sip wine holistically and share it in circle, in sisterhood with other women.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because, you know, there's like there is a thing with women and wine, and I want to re-sanctify that relationship.
Yep. Beautiful. What are 3 fun facts about you personally?
Okay, I'm gonna have to
please
pull up my notes for this one. I was having such a hard time.
Do you think I know your facts, or do I not know
You might
facts?
know one.
Okay. Ooh, good. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, at first I was like, I'm so not fun.
Somebody flipped it on me once. I was like, hold on, that's not the question. I don't know.
I'm not prepared.
I'm boring.
Okay, so I would say a really fun fact about me is when I was in school, we were in sensory class and sensory tasting, and they surprised the students with a blind tasting competition.
I picked the wrong major. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay, that sounds
great. I have to say school was like Hogwarts.
This is amazing.
It was like Harry Potter. The professors were amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely dark.
Wait, where did you go to school? Sorry, I'm totally taking off. Oh, at Davis. That's right. Obviously,
yeah, I did I went to Davis for my bachelor's when I was still doing pre-med.
Yep.
And then I just transferred right into their master's program because, it's very science-based. I'm
absolutely.
Like, okay, this is an easy switch, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there was, I think, about 100-ish students in the program. We combined our bachelor's and master's students together because for a lot of like the core classes, because the master's class was relatively small. There was probably about 20 of us.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, we had this big blind tasting, and out of all the master's students, I won the blind tasting.
Wow.
And then out of all the students, I came in second.
Stop, really? That's amazing. Okay,
I was so shocked.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so that's really fun. And then
that really speaks to, your abilities. That's incredible. Yeah, she knows it's fine.
It's the sensory.
Yeah.
It's mindfully engaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a big piece of it, though, for you.
Yeah, I it's funny because that was at the earlier stage, I would say, of my blossoming into like really being conscientious about holistic living. But it was there, you know. It was just like it's been this undercurrent of my path that's been guiding me, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, and then another fun thing about me is I love astrology.
Ooh. Yeah. So that's my youngest daughter. This is good to hear.
Really?
Yeah, I need to connect you.
So I've been studying astrology for years and years and years.
Wow.
And recently I've been getting more into like astronomical energetics. So like real-time placements of the planets in the sky. And I'm just like in the vineyard during harvest. And I'm like, this is what's happening right now.
Oh my gosh. That is very cool. I didn't know that. Wow. I feel like there's like a little touch of astrology on here.
Oh my gosh, we haven't even like talked about the magic of the wines.
Yes.
Maybe we can save that for the end when we can talk about the wines.
Wait, hold on. Yes, definitely want to hear about that.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll have to and that. And then the last fun thing that I've actually been really excited to tell you is last year got into Afro House and Brazilian dancing.
Stop, that is
my God.
Where do you take that?
Okay, so I met this gal.
Okay.
I went to her retreat in Mexico.
Okay.
On the Sea of Cortez.
Well, this sounds like a fun place to dance.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, the beats are so high. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's an incredible workout.
Yeah. Wow.
And she's amazing. She's a former ballerina. She's from Sebastopol. And she travels all over the world studying different cultures and lineages.
Yeah.
There's so much history with the dancing.
Yeah.
From the migration from Africa to Brazil.
How cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And she travels to like London, Tulum, South Africa, but home base is here for her. So it's like, it's such a blessing that we had this gal. Her name is Alyssa. Yeah.
Oh, that is very cool.
So, she just got back here and she'll be doing classes and I'm like, girls, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to join you on that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I might need a glass of wine first.
Yeah. Yeah, before and after.
That is so cool. Yeah, and what a great way to work out too.
It's really fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I love dancing.
Amazing. I think once a dancer, always a dancer, honestly. Like, that's my happiest place.
I mean, we're always going to be choreographing in our heads.
I asked my kids that the other day. It's so funny that you said that because I was driving and I was like, do you guys choreograph dances in your head too when you hear music? And they're like, yeah, every time. I was like, okay, all right, so it's not just me. Yeah, that's so funny. That's funny that you still do that too.
Yeah, I know. Always a dancer.
Strong piece. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I want to hear about the magic.
Okay, so something really cool about our wines, besides the fact that they are sourced from organic and biodynamically farmed vineyards and we aim for like a little bit lower alcohol, we actually blend in flower and crystal essences into our wines. Do you know what those are?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know what like a flower essence would be. I don't understand crystal. Like, explain.
It's kind of the same idea.
Okay.
Well, it is the same idea. So flower and crystal essences are a form of frequency medicine where you are capturing the bioenergetic imprint of the flower or the crystal into water.
Okay.
Water is a carrier frequency.
Okay.
Do you know this about water?
Right. Yes. Yes. You can picture like the little. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Okay. So the molecular formation of water can change. Water literally holds memory.
Wow.
It's very true.
Wow.
Yeah. There's books and tons of research on it. And utilizing what I've learned at school. I will never forget the day that I was in physics. And this was before crystals like really took off. They were kind of like starting to trend a little bit. This was back in 2012-ish. Yeah, I was in physics and we were talking about how vibrational forces work and how everything in the universe has its own unique vibration.
Wow.
And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, that's how crystals work. And I was like, I don't even know why I'm thinking about this right now, but I'm going to put that in my back pocket and save it for later.
Yes.
Yeah. So much of this brand is based off of universal quantum physics.
Amazing.
Yeah. So back to crystal and flower essences, you are capturing that vibrational frequency that they're giving off into the water.
Whoa.
Yes, and imprinting it into the water. And if you study wave-wave interactions and van der Waals forces, it's all really like how we feel each other's energy. You can carry that into water and it can imprint on any other type of, I would say, liquid or water specifically, and in the body, it emits that frequency and your body takes on. And when you have two different molecules coming together, they will inherently begin to vibrate at the same resonance.
Interesting.
So a standard dose of crystal and flower essences is about 7 drops.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have blended in enough flower and crystal essences, and the flowers and the crystals represent each of the elements in the wines, so that there are 7 drops in a glass of wine.
In a glass of wine?
Yes.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little mind blown.
So it's magic wine.
It actually
it's a little woo, but it's actually very rooted in physics.
Yeah, exactly. That is so cool.
Yeah, so that's just something a little special and unique.
Super
that sets
special.
Us
Does
apart.
anyone else do that you've seen?
There are a couple other brands I have seen that will utilize crystals in the winemaking process, but it seems to be that like it's in the collective because it's like happening at the same time. So unbeknownst to, it's like finding out after the fact.
Yeah. But there's others that have a similar.
So, it's in the air.
I feel like very magical just sitting here.
Yeah. So when you're having that glass of wine.
Yeah, you have to really appreciate it.
Yeah. So on our website, you can read up on all of the technical notes of the flowers and the crystals.
Yeah.
How they represent that element. What is the energetics and the reasoning that we used it in our wines and...
That is so cool. Yeah, that is extra special.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they want to buy wine, taste wine, follow you?
So we sell online right now. Our website is wildrisingwines.com. You can find us on Instagram at wildrisingwines. And if you're looking to go deeper, you can find me at I Am the Wild Rising. And there I'm going a little bit deeper into like the spiritual aspects of wine. So we do have a wine club membership.
I was going to ask you.
And we just moved facilities. So it's been a very busy year.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So we moved to Taft Street.
Okay, great. Yes, I think I knew
exciting.
This. That's right. I knew
we just announced it. Yeah.
Yes.
So very soon in the near future, it's likely that we'll be able to host guests at the tasting room there.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Amy.
I am so excited to know more about this because I know you've been doing this and you and I have not sat down at all.
I know.
Like, this is amazing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you for listening.
If you like what you hear, please be sure to like and subscribe, learn more about Sonoma County and all that we have to offer here.